morning everyone. In this video we're going to be talking about rational equations, and if you look at the word rational, then maybe you could recognize the part of ratio, and maybe, hopefully, you do remember what a ratio is. So basically, a rational equation is an equation in which there is a ratio. You can also look at rational functions. It's a function in which there is a ratio. So what does that look like? Well, usually you have something which is defined as a ratio. And in this paragraph they usually use the following letters. And if we're looking at this example, this is a ratio. And basically a general form of the rational equation. They can be much more complex, of course, but this is just the start. So, for example, when do we use this? Well, think about, for example, a group project. And it's a group project in which me as a teacher tells you, well, as a group you will need to put in 40 hours of work, and most of you are probably already studying right now because they probably haven't worked for 40 hours in their lives yet, but hey. So it's a group project. And it will take you, as a group, 40 hours to complete. Well, before we're going to look at the formula, I'm going to look at the table first. Because then maybe you get some kind of a feeling for this, what this formula does and why it's somewhat special. So I'm going to make a table in which I'm going to look at the amount of group members. And over here I'm going to put in the amount of hours per member, per person. So imagine that I put someone, because I hate them, by themselves in a group. How many hours would Fan have to work on that project? Well, that would be 40 hours. It was a joke, Fan, I'm still practicing, please bear with me. Okay, what if I would think that 40 hours is a bit much for Fan, so I'm adding more. Then how many hours will Fan have to put in this project? Still 40. No, I should really stop her now. 2 people will take each part of 20 hours. If I would add Sabina and Senna, so there would be 4 persons, and everyone would have to work for 10 hours. And if there would be 5 people, it would be 8 hours. So what makes this table special? Maybe you already see it, maybe not. Some of you are pretty quick at this. What makes this special is, if you look at this table vertically, then 1 times 40, so if I would add an extra row with products vertically, then this 1 times 40 is 40, 2 times 20 is 20. And that should make sense because in the end, every single, no matter how big the group is, they will have to put in 40 hours. So this table could be a table of this format, but then there should be numbers. Which numbers? Well, think about it. Your first guess would probably be y equals 40 divided by x. Then you would have to be careful, like what are the 2 variables showing you? Well, this could be the amount of members, and this is the amount of hours per person. Because then if you would divide 40 with 1, you get 40. If you would divide 40 with 2, you get 20. So these formulas basically have a certain number, and you're going to divide that number over more and more and more people. Imagine you would work on this as an entire school with 1,600 people. then how many hours would you have to put in? Maybe I shouldn't have done it like this, because now I have to calculate it right now. 0.25, is that correct? No, it's not. Let's do this really quick. I don't know why I didn't do this beforehand. Should really consider doing that. I think this is correct. It should be 40 as well. So, if you use a whole lot of people, the number will get really low. The thing is, over here the change is like 20, then the change in numbers will get smaller and smaller. So graphically, what happens is, at first you'll have a really drastic change, but then later on it will go a lot slower. And this is like a sketch of this table, this thing, sketch. But hopefully you do get the idea that you're trying to divide this number over more and more things. That's also the most important part of this, I'd say. If you do understand this concept, you will probably do well with the homework. So good luck.